focus more time on this slide because I would love to talk about all four valve regurgitation, but I'm focusing on mitral valve regurgitation today. So my regurgitation is meaning leaking. So when we know that the blood coming from mitral valve passed through the left ventricle, the filled up Coke bottle. When there is an accident, the truck is hitting somewhere, the bottles all break off, and then they're going to go back, all the way back into the store to get some more. That's how regurgitation is. Okay? Yeah. So in this, also called mitral regurgitation or mitral insufficiency or mitral incompetence, is a condition in which your heart mitral valve doesn't close tightly. This is mitral valve, if you see. If these leaflets doesn't close properly, the blood flowing in is going to go back into the left atrium. There will still be blood coming in, but some blood will be going back into the left atrium, and this will never have any symptom on the heart unless and until they find the murmur. As Emily said it, only by looking at, hearing the murmur by the cardiologist, you will know there is something problem going on the heart. Otherwise, there is no any symptom. So I want to focus on the parts of the mitral valve. As we all know, these two are the papillary muscle. This is chordae tendineae, and this circle is called annulus. This is a ring-shaped one that's called annulus. If there is any defect on either of these, the mitral valve cannot be functionable. So remember, like one person holding a rope on the other side, the other person holding a rope on the other side. If either of them going to leave it loose, it's not going to work properly. Like that. This is like a thread. Looks so what do you say? Like easy to tear off, but we have to live with the kind of rope stuff. This is a papillary muscle holding tight on the chordae tendineae, and that's helping the annulus to move around to push the blood down. We don't want to take the blood up, it has to go down and has to go through the aortic valve. Yes? Yeah. So, any problem with these three parts on the mitral valve will have a dysfunction of any of these portion of the MV apparatus can cause mitral regurgitation. I just want to show this nice video real quick if they open. Yeah.
Here's one way a leaky heart valve can be repaired. First, the failed segment of your valve that doesn't close properly is removed. Then the doctor brings the cut edges together and cinches down the circumference to fix the leak.
That's it. Looks so simple, but it's not. So the signs and symptoms. Many people with severe, especially this heart, so difficult, complicated, but I don't know why it's not showing any symptoms. Suddenly, they just have a swollen leg, or they have kind of heart murmur, not good heartbeats, and there's some turbulence through your heart. All this will have the signs and symptoms, but mostly they don't have a symptom unless they come to you saying they have a chest pain, or they have some kind of heart palpitation, like a rapid fluttering heartbeat, swollen feet or anklet. Can anyone say why swollen feet or anklet? That's because the blood is not flowing properly. The heart is taking so much time to take care of the regurgitated blood all the way again, passing and coming. Coke bottle is not delivered to Kroger when we want it. If it is not delivered, we are upset. That's what. Swollen feet and ankle are upset because they're not getting enough blood for their function to happen. I want to really show this heart murmur example. We always say heart murmur, we want to know actually how the normal heart and how the murmur would be. This one will show you the actual heartbeat, and then this is how the mitral valve would be. Over. this is the difference, the huge difference when you listen to the heart murmur. That's why this doctor is even looking at my chest and my back. My daughter is playing with this doctor kit and she always say, "Mommy, deep breathe." That's what they should definitely know. They should really do a deep breathe and get to hear the heartbeat. Especially when doctor is doing a heartbeat, we wanted to interrupt them and ask them, talk to them. Don't talk to the doctor when they're listening to it. That's what I do. Okay, so we are, how do you even know that your heart is not functioning properly because you have a mitral valve regurgitation? I'm so happy to say echocardiography is currently the technique of choice to assess the etiology and the severity of the mitral regurgitation, and I'm going to be one of that. And I'm going to definitely crack this and become a echocardiography. Everybody sitting here, I want to get through that. It demonstrates the extent of LA and LV enlargement. LA and LV enlargement, Kaylee also said, most of the cardiomyopathy happens on the left ventricle and left LA, left ventricle and left atrium. So for me, the mitral valve, house of mitral valve is on the left ventricle and left atrium. So if there is an enlargement, when they measure and they see if there is an enlargement on your left ventricle or left atrium, there could be one of the reasons they have a mitral valve regurgitation. And two-dimensional 2D echocardiography or transesophageal echocardiography, Doppler echocardiography and color flow will enable the detailed assessment of the structure and function of the mitral valve. Whenever they do echocardiography on the valve, they just don't see only mitral valve. They will also see other three valves. I wanted to check why actually there is an issue or it's only one valve that is giving a problem. And this I want to focus main because our mantra should always have these remembered, how the patient is going to be on the table, on the bed, left lateral decubitus, transducer used as phased or sector, scan planes and orientation notch. We always know parasternal long axis will be showing from the right ventricle followed by IVS and then the left ventricle. For us, focus is mitral valve regurgitation. In this view, we do see a good one, but the actual one which is really nice to see your mitral valve regurgitation is parasternal short axis, because we can get the view of all four valves and see which valve is actually having a trouble. Apical four-chamber is very pretty when you put the Doppler on it and then you see whether there is a leakage on your mitral valve. Screen orientation, you always know that it is located right with cardiac scanning. Valve regurgitation can be examined in all three planes, but more specifically, short axis is the best way to find all four valves if there is an issue. So the technique used in this would be 2D M-mode echocardiography, transesophageal. Spectral Doppler accurately estimates the flow velocity. We wanted to know the blood flow velocity for sure. And then pulsed wave velocity, pulsed wave Doppler is also taken care. More accurately localized velocities value in relation to surrounding. Color Doppler is a positive diagnosis always for mitral regurgitation. Yeah, this is the defective valve. This is the defective images that I found. This one, the mitral regurgitation, showing the blood leaking into the left atrium. Apical four-chamber, focus color Doppler on the mitral valve. When you see the left ventricle, there is a blood coming from mitral valve. It has to be sending all the blood to the left ventricle. But you see some blood remaining in mitral valve is a regurgitation. This is how you find that this patient has a mitral valve regurgitation. When you see aortic regurgitation, I wanted to show how it will look like. The blood has to be passing all the way to the aortic valve with some remaining on the left ventricle. This would be a defective aortic valve regurgitation. And these two images shows a tricuspid valve regurgitation showing blood leaking into the right atrium, and pulmonic valve